My name is Paulina Barca-Canton, and I'm Marketing and Communications Manager at the Trans-Canada Trail. Over the past 5 years, the Trans-Canada Trail has been collaborating closely with our partners at Esri Canada to produce our very popular interactive map. We most recently launched an improved version of the interactive map, and the work was led by Matt English, Technology Lead at Esri Canada. I have the pleasure of interviewing Matt today. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hi, Paulina. I'm great, thanks.
As you probably didn't know that this is what you wanted to do when you were a kid, I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit about how you found your calling against the backdrop of rapidly evolving technology over the past, I'm going to say, 20 years.
Yeah. Well, it all started back when I was a kid, and I did have a love for maps when we were on road trips with my parents. I always used to look at the map and see kind of our progress. And then later on in life, after I graduated from the University of Waterloo with an environmental studies degree, I decided to kind of take my love of maps and build on that degree. So I found myself in a geographic information systems program that taught us all about technology, taught us about mapping as a visualization tool, as an analysis tool, and it just so happened that I also took a liking to being an application developer, which is someone who takes the geographic information systems software and writes custom apps that do specific things, and that kind of led us here today to the Trans-Canada Trail, where we took a GIS application and did some custom work so that we could have these very interesting workflows for Trans-Canada Trail.
Wonderful. And the Trans-Canada Trail is the world's longest, and we'd like to say grandest, recreational trail in the world. And so to come back to the interactive version of the map, tell me a bit about the development of the TCT interactive map and how long it took you to create it from start to finish.
Yeah, so the development process really involved the team, the GIS team at Trans-Canada Trail, Charles Andre and Dominique, and we worked together for quite some time, actually just kind of building out the content of the map itself, not the application that with the buttons and the widgets and that, but just the contents of the map, the different layers that were going to appear in the map, and how those layers would behave in the application. So when someone clicked on a trail, what was the content that or what is the content that the user would see? So it was a very iterative process. There was a bunch of requirements that Trans-Canada Trail wanted in the application. So yeah, it was really a collaborative mechanism. So you guys, Trans-Canada Trail, built out all of the content, which is a lot of work. And then we took a piece of technology we call the Web App Builder for ArcGIS, which is a set of out-of-the-box mapping templates that we took all of the content that you created and produced an app based on a configurable set of templates. And then I kind of came in and did some of the custom coding on some specific widgets that were part of the requirements from Trans-Canada Trail.
And what is the feature that you're proudest of on the TCT interactive map?
Yeah, well, let's take a look. So this is the Trans-Canada Trail interactive map, and I want to show a couple things. This is the thing that I think is really neat, and I'm quite proud of. So in the upper left, users can search for a town, a city, or even a trail name if they happen to know the name of the trail. So let me just click on this particular trail and zoom in, and this zooms into the Montreal area, and you can see that there is a trail called Axe Christophe Colomb through pretty much the downtown part of Montreal. And the one piece of functionality that I think is really interesting here is that for any given trail, when you see its information on the right-hand side, there's a button called Download. And when you click that Download button, you can download the data of the trail to your GPS device, or you can open it up in something called ArcGIS Earth. So when I download, It extracts the trail information, and when we have the downloaded data, we can actually open it up in a 3D viewer. So this is kind of interesting. So let's just check this out here. Okay, so with that downloaded trail data from TransCanada Trail, you can bring it into our 3D viewer. It's called ArcGIS Earth, and let's just double-click on that trail. There's all the information about the trail, and then we're going to zoom right into Montreal. And the 3D viewer is kind of nice because you actually see the trail, but you can layer in all sorts of different types of information. So this is a scene, a 3D scene generated actually by the City of Montreal. You can see the TransCanada Trail as it makes its way through the downtown part of Montreal, and as well giving us a pretty photorealistic view of, in this case, a city scene with the trail going through the downtown view. So this has been my favorite part of the app to develop, is the download capability of the trail data. And in future, the download capability of the trail data will work in mobile apps that you'll be able to download from the app stores. So you'll be able to take data from TransCanada Trail offline on your mobile app. Let's say if you're hiking out in the wilderness where there's no internet connection, you'll be able to take the trail data with you. So this is kind of a neat capability of what we built into the app.
Fantastic. And tell me a little bit about what was the most challenging feature for you to develop.
Yeah, one of the most challenging, challenging is kind of a strong word. It was more just an integration feature. So if we zoom back out to the full extent of the TransCanada Trail, one of the requirements was to integrate photographs, and the photographs are essentially a curated set of photographs from real people who use the trail, and they're submitted to TransCanada Trail's Flickr account, and then they appear here in this carousel. So as we move and pan around the map, that list refreshes. So if I go in here. And the other nice thing is you can actually just, for any of the given photographs that users have submitted through Flickr, you can click on them and it'll take you to that particular trail so that you can see the trail information on the right-hand side, including the photograph, and you can click on the photograph here and essentially page through all of the different photos. So this is kind of like, it's really sort of crowdsourcing, if you will. It's kind of a neat way that TransCanada Trail has engaged its user community, and we've done our best to essentially integrate that feature into the interactive map.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us today, Matt.
Yeah, no problem, Pauline. It's been a real pleasure working with TransCanada Trail over the last number of years, and we look forward to continued collaboration.